Good day, everyone. I am back in San Francisco today. A rare occasion, I did not take the SMART train and the ferry. Instead, I drove because I have something very special going on today. And I am doing a behind-the-scenes tour of Alcatraz. They have two different tours that you can do. You can do the day tour, which goes all day, starting I think at 8 a.m. Check their website. Or you can do the behind the scenes, which is what I'm doing. And it goes into the evening. So I wasn't sure if I was gonna make the ferry on time to get back home, so I ended up driving. I do recommend getting your tickets ahead of time. In fact, every time I wanted to go, they were sold out. So I had to plan pretty far ahead this time, a month and a half out to be exact.
If you don't have a digital copy of your tickets, grab them at the will call window at Pier 33. Once you have your tickets, you'll wait in the staging area to board the ferry to the prison. While you wait for the boat, there are plenty of food carts on the sidewalk and lots of information posted to educate you about Alcatraz before arriving. Transit to the island is approximately a 15-minute ferry ride. I recommend sitting on the starboard or right side of the ferry for the best view. The ferry will circle around the island before docking, but be aware of the wind if you're wearing a hat. There is also a good chance you'll be hit with sea spray if you choose to be seated close to the railing.
After an exhausting walk up the hill, you get to the top and you should start your audio tour. So that's where we are headed first.
Your audio tour is narrated by prior correctional officers and inmates who used to be imprisoned at Alcatraz. The tour is offered in a variety of languages, not just English. It starts by walking you through many of the common spaces and describing a typical day in the prison. One of the cells also pays tribute to one of the correctional officers who was killed during a hostage situation during a 1956 escape attempt known as the Battle of Alcatraz or Alcatraz Blastout. According to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, the situation started as an elaborate escape plot that ringleaders decided to turn into a fight to the death when the attempt failed. 6 inmates took 9 officers hostage, with Officer William A. Miller being one of them and unfortunately killed. The audio tour also takes you outside to the recreational area, which is a nice break for some fresh air.
It's just a little windy.
Once back inside, the tour continues to the most famous cells. One was occupied by George Heck and decorated with copies of his sketches and paintings. Not far away are the cells that house the inmates who successfully escaped. You can still see the ventilation holes carved out into the wall that were key to their getaway. The rest of the tour you get more of the perspective of the correctional officers and even get to walk through the warden's office. And then finally you end your tour inside of the galley.
So that was the tour. There is a part that you can get locked into the cells and have an experience. I went into the cells and I don't think it's really worth staying personally, just to have the doors shut on me. And my whole purpose to come this late was so I could avoid the crowds. And it was still really crowded in my opinion. But it was really good. It was really cool. The audio tour broke it down. How gnarly, there's a morgue. Alright, squirrel moment for me. I had to stop and see the morgue. But anyhow, where was I? Oh, it was still really crowded for my taste. I thought this would be a much smaller group of people, and it wasn't. So I have to say, I wish I had saved the $15 and just done the day tour. But it was still really good. I have no regrets in coming. This was a bucket list item for me here in California. I still recommend that you get your tickets early, no matter if you choose to do the night tour or the day tour. So now we are on the downhill side going back to the boat. It's much easier, obviously, than going up the hill. That was very exhausting. But if you have a disability, they do have a tram option. It is not available for parents with small children, or if you have a stroller, you gotta hoof it, baby. But overall, if you have just had surgery, you're on crutches, you're in a wheelchair, that tram is going to be for you. So I do recommend that you get on the website and check out the stipulations for that. They are very strict about it. There are restrooms here on Alcatraz, nothing fancy, but if you gotta go, there are facilities for you. But smoking isn't one designated part of the island. You can't mess with any of the birds, the plants, don't take any rocks. The National Park Service is very, very strict on maintaining the grounds here, and for understandable reasons. So make sure that you respect the island. These seagulls just clack, clack, clack all day. So shut the hell up. One thing to also expect while you're here in Alcatraz is definitely the wind, as you saw. And you're gonna wanna make sure that you bring, probably a jacket would be a good idea. The temperature changes here in California can be wild. There is one final benefit I will have to point out. You're gonna be in store for an amazing sunset. So one benefit that you will have for the night tour. California just takes my breath away all the time.